So at the beginning of this video, I shared with you about a bullying experience that I endured kind of late elementary school, 5th and 6th grade. And I wanted to wrap up that story just a little bit for anybody who might be interested. There was a particular kid in our class who initiated this experience for me. And what became of him, I don't know. Our family moved from that town after 7th grade, and so I lost track of him, except that, interestingly, weirdly, during 7th grade, somehow he became my closest ally and promoter. So what that was about, I don't entirely know. But how I think of him is he was the unknowing agent for an experience that would ultimately become very transforming for me, almost central to my transformative journey in my adult life. I think it took me 20 years to even be aware of that year of my life as an experience, as a painful experience. And then it began to dawn on me, like midway through my adult life, that it was consequential. It had lots of consequences for how I did life. But I didn't want to think about it for a while. I didn't want to get too close to it. It almost felt like if I thought about it, it would have a power to reach back out and hurt me again. So I had a very do not touch relationship with this experience for some years. Even after I began to become intentional about it, I found that I couldn't speak about it. I couldn't talk to my wife about it, so I carried a lot of shame regarding it, being rejected like that. So it had a very slow, decades-long evolution to the point where I was ready to begin to handle it, begin to relax down into it, begin to be with God in it. And somehow I just followed my nose and followed my intuition and tried to be with God in a listening, noticing, permeable way. And over time, I began to notice that some of the frozen feelings connected with that experience began to thaw a bit. It began to loosen. Feelings of being frozen in an identity as rejected. You know, that's the identity that I carry in my life. I'm rejected. The strength of that, the rigidity of that, began slowly to dissolve as I just let myself be in this sort of self-emptying, a vulnerable, intimate place with God in it. And also, interestingly, and I'll just kind of close with this, interestingly, it could be that there's a way in which I needed that experience. I have a sort of my natural wiring is to be sort of smart alecky and to be it's kind of narcissistic, so everything surrounds me, you know, and I need attention, I need to perform for you. And it could be that part of me needed a kind of a wound. I was going to say a fatal wound. I don't know, that's maybe too dramatic, but a wound of some type that would help me release my need to be at the center, my need to perform, and exchange it with what I need really in my vocation, which is an eagerness to be with you in your story and to listen to you and your story. So, you know, these things are mysterious, and I don't want to make everything too cut and dry, but I can say that in this and in all our painful experiences, there is a deep well of new life to draw from that will help us live more deeply in union with ourselves and in union, in compassionate union with a fragile, vulnerable world who are also walking through their stories of difficulty and pain and abuse and even rejection. So always hope, always evolution, always development, always new and deeper life in Christ.